So the big question, which gets asked every year, is Star Citizen finally playable? Is it worth it? Is it worth investing your time in this game? First things first, we are still dealing with a game that is, yes, that is still in alpha. So if you're expecting a 100% pure experience, no, that will not happen. You will definitely encounter some bugs or some unpleasantries along the way. While this obvious statement has been made, the game itself has never been in a more stable state, and you can actually enjoy doing certain types of content. Of course, all activities are not finished nor polished, so there is a chance for players to have an experience which is very off-putting. That being said, there are also lots of gameplay loops and things we can do which work. And of course, we are going to remember those bad experiences more vividly than the good ones, even though Star Citizen may have its ups and downs. There is still quite a bit to do, but even before that, you may encounter the heavy-duty learning curve which this game has. You don't need to push it to the extreme levels that you know everything that your ship can do. There are just certain core elements which can help you succeed in this game, which are vital for your knowledge and progress with, for example, flying a ship. And for a first time flying your ship, you can somewhat be overwhelmed, surprised, and not know all the possible tools at your disposal. Of course, we can go even deeper with the ship strengths, the ship you have, its preference, its powers, but the game itself tries to lock the harder content behind reputation levels. This way, newer players won't be facing off against high-risk targets in their little light fighters. This does not mean that all the missions are simple. First-time ship combat can be somewhat overwhelming if you don't have your basic maneuvers in place. Same can be said for first-person combat missions. Even some of the less risky missions like deliveries can sometimes throw you in scenarios where you might be facing certain hostile NPCs. Not all the time, but there are a few. Same can be said for investigation missions. But the game does not want to throw you in a scenario where you're facing off against massive strong waves of opponents from the start. Now, first problem, of course, which many players probably did encounter, was the ship controls. And for that, delivery missions usually are the best to get the hang of that. To get the hang of flying your ship, maneuvering, understanding distances, adjusting your speed, and understanding what your ship is showing you, what information you have available, and what tools can you use. The first-person combat missions might not give you some breathing room as well, because these clear the bunker missions can often be very aggressive. You need to actually use cover, you need to maneuver, you need to keep out of the line of sight of opponents, and of course you can sometimes encounter bugs throughout the game while doing this type of content. And to think of it, actually not just this, but while also doing very simple delivery missions where there can also several types of bugs happen. Now, fortunately, over the years, especially the past two, these bugs and all the issues have gone down significantly. There used to be waves of bugs which would utterly just ruin your experience. But one thing everyone should keep in mind when they are playing Star Citizen is that this game is not very forgiving with your time spent. What I mean here is that doing almost anything in this game will take you some time. You need to travel from location A to location B. Now, it may sound simple, but you also need to make your way to the space station. You need to make sure you have enough gear. You need to manage your ship. You need to fly off to orbit. Then you can quantum travel, which can also take up, let's say, 5 minutes until you get to your destination. And around your destination you also need to fly close, land, and of course be aware of how you can approach the situation. Now, if you happen to die there for a legitimate reason or because of a bug, you need to make your way back to that location to continue where you left off. And for that you need to follow pretty much the same process which was just done. Get to the spaceport, have gear, get to the ship, once again fly to the location, land there and approach the situation. Now, this is one of the main reasons this game is not very forgiving. It takes your time and it might not give you anything back, it might just piss you off, But then again, if you are with a crew or a group of friends, you will have a different experience. You can assist each other, save each other, and you will have a very cool and unique experience. Probably one of the best with a game like this. So, is Star Citizen worth playing in 2024? Is it worth your time? If you want or need the absolute best experience, I suggest waiting. But if you don't mind encountering certain bugs and want to help the progress of the game, it's never been in a smoother state, and if you have some friends that you can play along with, you will have a totally different experience than playing it alone, and there is some cool teamwork going on with the possible content. So with a crew or a group of friends, I think it might actually be worth your time. But anyway, don't forget to like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.